Hello, Avalanche fans. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week as we are approaching the midway point. Sorry I did not put out a video yesterday separating the Game 3 and Game 4 reviews. I had a bit of a essentially preseason personal life. Nothing in my life seemed to be going correct yesterday. The video that I recorded, I ended up scrapping because I just didn't feel like it was as good as I liked it or wanted it to be. And since there wasn't a whole lot of good or I guess bad that happened the night before, I figured it might just make sense to just mix the two videos together instead of doing individual games for these preseason games that in the end don't matter at all. So that being said, there were 2 games played. That is one thing that we can say for fact. The Avs did play 2 games over the last couple days. One against the Wild, and then a Game 4 against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I say games were played because certainly there was action, but nothing really worth talking about. And unfortunately, with it being preseason, we already know that we're not watching the games to care about the score, but we do want to see our prospects and where they are in their development, and we want to see big moves amongst them because essentially, yes, they are playing another team physically on the ice, but they're playing against each other for their jobs. So that's what the preseason's for, and that's ultimately what's fun to watch. Unfortunately, with the 1-7 loss to the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the 2-5 loss against the Wild, we did not see much performance from anybody. We have only really seen, I guess, breakout performances, if you will, from both Ranta and Kaut, and I wouldn't say they're stellar. You've just seen noticeable strides from their performance last year, less lazy reaching penalties because they're getting caught behind a play, and Kaut even managed to get involved with both the scoring points against the Wild, with both an assist and a goal on the evening for him. So it's looking like Kaut might finally earn his spot on the team, at least for opening day, which about time for him since he was our 2018 draft pick. I think going into this preseason, he was well aware that this is pretty much his last chance to make the team. If he doesn't cut it on an NHL squad this year, then he's probably never really going to break into the NHL. The AHL will be as far as we really see his career go. Not that I mind seeing him in an Eagles jersey. He is fun to watch. He just has not made all the steps that we would like to see until now. We are starting to see some noticeable improvement, more physicality, and like I said, being a little bit less lazy and getting stepped into the play instead of reaching, which is where you get those stupid stick penalties, like you're slashing and you're hooking, tripping. So hopefully we see a little bit more from Cal in the next couple of days. As for Ranta, I don't know if he's going to make the lineup opening night or not. Potentially, just because of some injuries that the Avs are still currently dealing with. with Landeskog, Nichushkin, and Helm still questionable for when they'll be able to start. So there's a good chance we might see both Renta and Kaut make the starting lineup. We have 3 big players coming back though, so I don't know if either of them will have a spot on the team once they return. It's going to be their job in October really to keep their position. That being said, we do have some cuts that were made just before the Vegas game. I do expect another list of cuts to come out before the preseason game on Monday. But so far, we have narrowed the list down to 42 skaters after eliminating 11 of them today. One of them, the biggest one, that is being really talked about, at least in the media, would be our PTO offer that went out to Alex Galchenyuk. Like I said in an earlier video, I didn't see a guy that couldn't make a team that was trying to lose on purpose finding a position anywhere on a championship squad. And I was right. His offer was closed off today, so he was released from his PTO. I think part of this is because we've seen really good gameplay from Alex Newhook so far, and it's looking like he's ready to step into that 2C position. About one of the only good things that came out of the 2-5 loss against the Wild was watching Newhook, and he is ready. He went from 12 for 15 on the face-offs last night, and he scored just 19 seconds into the opening period to get things started. So he is looking like he's probably going to take that position from JT Compher. But we do still have a couple more days of preseason, and then even once we get into October, I don't really think we're going to see really our set lineups, if you will, until we start to see that injury bug go away from the Avalanche. Galchenyuk was not the only cut. He was just the biggest one. The other noticeable names, if you also follow the Eagles, are going to be Nate Klurman, Callahan Burke, Rob Hamilton, Trent Miner, Justin Scott, Dalton Smith, Ben Tardif, Ryan Wagner, and the new guy, Zhravalov, and I'm probably horribly butchering that, but it is as close as I seem to be able to get my tongue to pronounce that at the moment. The only other departure that we had from the Avs so far was the new goalie, Ivan Zhigalov, out of the OHL, and he's just going to go back to the OHL for another year. We'll probably see him back in training camp. Well, we'll see all these guys back in training camp next year. They just didn't make the team this year, so a little bit more development for them. I guess part of me is a little disappointed that they did not make the team, but also not terribly distraught, because I do enjoy seeing some of these names in Loveland wearing the Eagles jerseys. So seeing that they will be returning gives me good faith in the strength of the Eagles core this year. Outside of, I guess, talking about the few cuts that we've made so far, did want to make a quick shout out to Tyson Jost. We traded Tyson Jost away on the trade deadline last year, and then he had to sit on the couch and watch his team go on to win the Stanley Cup without him. 3 months later. So I feel for the guy, but he definitely let us know that there are no hard feelings as he buries 2 shorthanded goals on the Avs. And it looks like he's donning an alternate captain's jersey with them. I did notice an A on the jersey, so you know, as much as I hate watching the mustard and green jerseys skating around the ice, it is good to see that Jost seems to be fitting in quite well, and I hope that good things come for him on his new team, because even though unfortunately we had to move on, he was definitely a fan favorite and locker room favorite here in Colorado. So this is our quick shout out to Jost. Last thing before we get out of here today, should we be worried about the goalies? I mean, like I said, it's only preseason, so probably nothing to really honestly freak out about. But last 2 nights in a row, we had Frankie out against the Wild, and then we had Georgiev against Vegas, and neither goalie looked great. Neither goalie looked good. Both goalies looked horrible. Poor puck tracking, bad rebound control, horrible positioning. They look like they were both trying to figure out where they belong in between the pipes. Not really where you want to see either your potential starting goalies to be just a couple weeks before the opening season. But it is just preseason. I guess just like anybody else, we can have off nights. So hopefully that's all it is. But if this is any indication of what the goaltending could potentially look like, we may be addressing that potential panic button come November. But that's it for now. I probably not going to do a Game 5 review. I'm going to just wait until Game 6 and merge them together. Like I did today, when we have the final cuts that have been made, and we can take a look in our final roster. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.